President Xi Jinping is expected to meet with Russian leader Vladimir Putin tomorrow at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit, which is taking place in Uzbekistan.
It's their first in-person meeting since the war in Ukraine began. The pair plan to discuss Russia's invasion, among other, quote, international and regional topics. Beijing has commented on Russia's invasion of Ukraine, saying both sides are to blame for the conflict. This is despite announcing in February China and Russia have a limitless friendship.
For more on this, let's bring in Charles Edel. He's the Australia Chair and Senior Advisor at the Centre for Strategic and International Studies. Thanks for being with us, Charles. You know, the Kremlin says this meeting is of particular importance, but it's also happening at a time where Russia is losing significant ground in its invasion of Ukraine. Some are now predicting that their troops there are so exhausted and burned out that it could lead to the end of their invasion within months. How does that play into this meeting between Russia and China's leader?
Well, look, that's exactly right, that this meeting is happening at a really critical time for Russia because they're facing so many setbacks on the battlefield. So we see a real desire for them to project strength, to have that kind of, the two strongmen, the two authoritarian strongmen of the world, Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping coming together. But in many ways, this masks weaknesses on the Russian side, devastating battlefield losses, international isolation, Western sanctions that are grinding them, and rising voices of dissent in Moscow. And so we're seeing that this is symbolic. They're looking to renew what it is they have done, but it does mask some real weaknesses on the Russian side and some real hesitancy on the Chinese side for what exactly it is that they signed up for back in February.
They talk about this limitless friendship, but as we mentioned earlier, Beijing commented on Russia's invasion of Ukraine, saying both sides are to blame for the conflict. Why do you think Beijing isn't throwing its full support behind Moscow and its decisions?
Well, look, they said that, but they also had the number 3 man in Beijing just last week saying that they totally understood why Russia felt threatened by being surrounded by NATO, which is, of course, not really how it looks. And supported what they were doing. So all along, I think this points to the fact that China has been trying to have its cake and eat its too. You had asked, why aren't they throwing their full support? What we're likely to see is a continuation of what we've been seeing, that we're going to see rhetorical and moral support, some economic ties deepening, but nothing that means that China hopefully will go further than they've gone in terms of supplying advanced technology or weaponry to Russia, particularly as it faces all of these setbacks. That's a red line, it seems, that Beijing is undertaking because they're concerned about what the blowback would be from the West.
All right, Charles Edel, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.